The quiet in Huntsville never lasts long. Just when it seems like things are finally starting to calm down, another rumor rises to the surface, stirring up talk across social media and inside the world of love and marriage Huntsville. This time, it's photos of Marsau Scott that sent fans into a frenzy. The pictures started circulating online, showing Marsau with a mystery woman in Birmingham. The details were vague, the context unclear, but the whispers spread fast. People began asking questions, drawing their own conclusions, and speculating about what could be going on behind the scenes. Not long after the photos went viral, Miss Wanda, never one to hold her tongue when it comes to her family, decided to speak out. As always, Wanda came forward boldly, addressing the issue head-on. According to her, there was absolutely no truth to the claims that Marsau was being unfaithful or acting inappropriately with another woman. She wanted to make it clear that Marsau, in her eyes, was a public figure, a celebrity in Huntsville, and that people often take things out of context when they see someone well-known interacting with fans or friends. Miss Wanda said that the woman seen in the picture was simply a fan who wanted to speak to Marsau. She reminded everyone that when someone is on television, people tend to get excited around them. In her words, there was nothing romantic or scandalous happening, just another day where a known face was approached by someone who admired them. She laughed off the rumors, dismissing them as gossip created by people who have too much time and not enough truth. But her response only added fuel to the conversation. People started debating whether her explanation made sense or if it was just another attempt to protect her daughter's marriage. Wanda insisted that Tisha's marriage was solid and unbothered by the constant rumors that have followed Marsau for years. She said that Tisha had never experienced any situation where she felt her husband was unfaithful, and she wanted people to stop dragging her daughter into stories that had no evidence behind them. She was firm in saying that if anything serious ever happened, she would be the first to say it. According to Wanda, she's always been honest about what goes on, and she wouldn't cover for anything that was truly wrong. To her, the photo and the speculation around it were nothing more than noise. Baseless talk from people who wanted to stir trouble for no reason. Wanda made it clear that she laughed at the whole thing because there was no proof, no real story, and nothing to back up what people were trying to imply. Still, the timing of the rumors felt familiar. Fans of the show couldn't help but remember that much of the tension between the cast members over the years started with similar situations. It was Martell Holt long ago who had thrown out accusations about the other men, saying that he wasn't the only one doing wrong. Those infamous words about 20 women echoed in the background of this new situation. Many believe that ever since Martell's cheating scandal came to light, he's tried to pull others down with him, suggesting that the rest of the men weren't innocent either. Miss Wanda didn't shy away from bringing that history up either. She pointed out that all this mess seemed to begin when Martell's own infidelities became public. She implied that Martell started throwing out names and numbers to shift the spotlight away from himself. In her mind, that's when the pattern began. Whenever Martell faced consequences, he made sure to spread chaos so that nobody came out looking clean. Wanda felt that this situation was just another extension of that same pattern, where whispers about one man's marriage become fuel for online debates. According to Wanda, people take one photo and run with it, turning a moment into a full story without any real evidence. She mentioned that yes, Marsau was indeed in Birmingham, so that part was true, but everything else, the part about him being cozy with someone, was false. She said that even the way the photo was taken made it seem like more than it was. She wanted everyone to understand that when someone is known in the public eye, people often wait for a chance to twist a situation and make it look suspicious. Wanda's defense didn't surprise anyone who knows her personality. She has always been loud, passionate, and protective of her daughter and son-in-law. But for many fans, her defense wasn't enough to stop the discussions. People online began revisiting older seasons of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, remembering all the times Marsau's name came up in conversations about cheating. Even though there's never been proof, there's always been speculation, small moments, rumors, and accusations that never fully died down. The tension between Marsau and Martel has a long history. Their friendship, once solid, began to fall apart after Martel's affair was exposed. At first, Marsau seemed to be one of the few cast members who tried to distance himself from the scandal. But Martel didn't take kindly to that. Instead of owning his mistakes quietly, he turned his anger toward the others. He accused Marsau and Maurice of doing the same things he did, saying they just hadn't been caught. That claim caused years of tension, on and off the show. When Martel publicly mentioned that the men had shared women before, the situation escalated even more. It was one of the most talked about accusations in the show's history. Martel said he and Marsau had both been with the same women in the past, though he claimed he didn't sleep with a particular woman during the Vegas trip. Still, the damage was done. Even though Marsau denied everything, the seeds of doubt had already been planted among viewers and even within the group. The fallout from those claims created one of the show's biggest storylines. Martel had a sit-down conversation with Marsau and Maurice, trying to address the rumors, but things only got worse. The conversation turned into arguments, accusations, and frustration. Marsau made it clear that he wanted to move on and be done with the constant back and forth. Martel, however, seemed to want to keep the drama alive, insisting that he wasn't going to let things go so easily. Maurice tried to stay neutral, but even he couldn't avoid being pulled into it. Fans noticed that Maurice often walks a fine line when it comes to Martel, trying not to anger him too much, but also trying to protect his own image. In one conversation, Maurice even mocked Martel's claims by asking him what his private parts looked like if he claimed to have seen them during the alleged situation. The conversation was awkward and uncomfortable, but it showed just how deep the tension had become. Meanwhile, Kimmy, Maurice's wife, seemed to grow distant. Over time, fans began to notice that her patience with Maurice was wearing thin, especially after the DUI situation that happened later. The cracks in their marriage started to show, and people began wondering if the constant drama, lies, and rumors from the group were finally taking a toll on her too. For Marsau and Tisha, these rumors have followed them since the early seasons. Every time a new story surfaces, Tisha tries to stay strong and show that she trusts her husband. But as the years go on, more people begin questioning how much she's really willing to overlook. Even Ms. Wanda's defense, though loud and passionate, doesn't erase the pattern that keeps repeating: photos, whispers, and public speculation about Marsau's behavior. On the show, these accusations often lead to explosive moments. During one season, Martel and Marsau faced off in one of their most heated arguments ever. Martel accused Marsau of cheating with multiple women, and Marsau fired back, saying Martel was lying. Their argument got so intense that it nearly turned physical, and other cast members had to step in to calm things down. The tension was raw, emotional, and very personal. That moment showed just how fragile their relationships had become. Martel, who was once close to both Marsau and Maurice, now seemed completely isolated. His actions, his words, and his inability to let go of past issues continued to push people away. Every time he tried to apologize, another argument or accusation would follow soon after. Even at Destiny's Field Day event, something meant to bring everyone together, chaos broke out again. What was supposed to be a fun day ended in shouting, accusations, and confrontation. Martel and Marsau clashed again, rehashing old arguments about cheating. Martel accused Marsau of lying and pretending to be perfect when he wasn't. Marsau, tired of the same claims, challenged Martel to prove what he was saying. The argument grew more intense when Martel brought up the 20 women comment again. Marsau laughed it off, denying it all. But the damage was already done. Their friendship seemed beyond repair, and their wives were dragged into the fallout once again. Tisha defended her husband, saying she didn't believe the rumors, while Martel's comments about her being slow and too forgiving of Marsau's actions added insult to injury. That moment was one of the lowest points between the couples. Martel called out Tisha's loyalty, saying she was the kind of wife that men like Marsau wanted because she ignored the truth. His words were harsh and disrespectful, but they revealed how bitter he had become. He accused Marsau of hiding behind his wife's forgiveness, and he accused Tisha of choosing denial over truth. Miss Wanda, as always, didn't stay quiet after those scenes aired. She went online, defending her daughter fiercely. To her, people were misreading everything. She said Tisha knew her husband and that their marriage was stronger than people gave them credit for. She said Tisha wasn't blind, she simply didn't entertain baseless gossip. And for Wanda, that made her proud. Now, with these new photos in Birmingham, it feels like the past is trying to repeat itself. But Wanda is standing her ground, saying she won't let social media destroy her daughter's peace. She's urging people to stop believing everything they see online. In her view, unless there's proof, the rumors are meaningless. She said that if something real ever happened, Tisha and Marsau would handle it privately, not through strangers. Posts on the internet. Posts. Still. Fans continue to talk. The pictures may not show anything incriminating, but they reignited a conversation that has never really gone away. People want to know if Marsau truly deserves Tisha's trust, or if there's more going on behind the scenes. Others feel that the public should give their marriage some space, saying that every couple deserves privacy, especially when their lives are already under constant scrutiny on television. As this situation unfolds, it highlights one of the main themes of Love and Marriage Huntsville: loyalty, trust, and the price of fame. Being on a reality show means that every moment, every glance, every conversation, every rumor can turn into a headline. And for Marsau and Tisha, that means living with constant judgment. No matter how many times they deny rumors, something new always seems to appear. Wanda's response may have been her attempt to shut down the noise, but it also shows how protective she is. She's been one of the most controversial figures connected to the show, often making situations bigger with her outspoken comments. But this time, she tried to sound calm and composed, saying she laughed at the rumors because they were ridiculous. She said people are just being messy, taking pictures, twisting stories, and trying to bring down a marriage that doesn't concern them. Her words came across as both defensive and motherly. She didn't want to see her daughter hurt, but she also wanted to remind everyone that not everything they see or hear online is true. She mentioned that people need to stop using their phones to create fake stories about celebrities and instead focus on their own lives. As the conversation continues online, one thing is clear: Huntsville's peace never lasts long. Whether it's Martel stirring the pot, Marsau caught in rumors, or Miss Wanda jumping in to defend her family, the drama always finds its way back. The cast may talk about healing, forgiveness, and moving forward, but the reality of it all is that their past keeps pulling them back into conflict. For now, Miss Wanda's message is firm. There's no scandal, no betrayal, and no need for people to keep spreading lies. But as history shows, this probably won't be the last time rumors circle around the Scotts. Whether or not the truth ever comes out, one thing's for sure: Huntsville will be watching, waiting, and talking about every move they make.